They've become a great story here in the nation's capital, and they're playing much better football. Hi, everybody. Peter Watts with you from field level at Lansdowne Park. These two teams with a big game coming up today. Of course, all games are big with a month to go in the season. Ottawa trying to catch Toronto for the third and final playoff spot in the East. They're 4 points back, and the Riders are next on the agenda. And Calgary, of course, trying to solidify its hold in second place, with Saskatchewan trailing not far back. Let's go to the broadcast booth and set up the game today. Here's John Wells and Lee Pedersen.
Okay, Peter, I guess the big question is, dare the Ottawa Rough Riders and their fans think about making the playoffs in the Eastern Division of the CFL? A win today, they've still got a shot at it.
Hey, I think they got a great shot. You know, they're playing inspired football. Last week was a great indication of how well they have progressed this year, and they've got a great shot to make the playoffs.
All right, let's set the matchups for this one, beginning offensively with the Calgary Stampeders. Up front, Lloyd Fairbanks seems to be the final piece in that offensive puzzle.
Well, it really is, John. You know, they talked him out of retirement to come back and really anchor and solidify that offensive line. You know, everything on offense starts with the guys up front, and they have a tremendous amount of experience.
Defensively, the Rough Riders picked up a notch with the addition of Scott Flegel at safety last week.
Well, you know, John, he brought just a tremendous amount of enthusiasm to this team. He had a fumble recovery, an interception last week, and just the enthusiasm that he injected into that defense really paid off.
Offensively for the Rough Riders, Damon Allen is the key, but really the way he runs and when he runs might be the key today.
Well, it really is. You know, we always talk about the running ability of Damon Allen, but I think he really has to take control of a game at certain times, be willing to pick up that much-needed first down by himself.
Defensively, the Stampeders have been tough all season with two of the very best linebackers in the league.
Well, they really are. You know, Tank Landry in the middle, he's second in the league in tackles with 77. Hollywood Ford, his buddy on the outside, well, he leads all outside linebackers in tackles this year. You know, those two guys seem to set the tone for that defense week after week.
We like the matchup here this afternoon. The Calgary Stampeders won the last meeting between these two teams, but it wasn't really out of control, was it?
No, it really wasn't out of control. Ottawa's been in so many games that they have lost, and they have a great shot today, but Calgary is a good football club.
All right, Peter.
From the Calgary Stampeders, Mark McLaughlin, number 13, set to get the football afternoon underway. Thurman is back. That's Pee Wee Thurman, number 85, and it goes right to him. Thurman picks his way out to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Ottawa Rough Riders will begin the first offensive sequence. Damon Allen at quarterback with the running backs this week. Chris Skinner and David Conrad. Inside receivers Wilcox and Abraire. Outside McDonald and Alphen. A bit of a change at running back, Lee.
Yeah, David Conrad gets the start today. Nothing wrong with Orville Lee other than the fact that he's not having a good season, and Steve Goldman thought he would put David Conrad in and see what he could do today.
First and 10 Ottawa at the 38. Allen elects to carry himself. He's out near the 45. Stopped by Tank Landry for a gain of 6. Up front of Damon Allen. Herb Damon at center. Brad Tierney and Rocco Romano are the guards. Gerald Roper and Kerry Ilarenko are the tackles. This will be 2nd and 4 Ottawa. Time to throw, and wide open is Alphen. Big first down Ottawa. And across the 45 and stopped by Junior Thurman.
Great pass pattern by Gerald Alphen, of course, who leads the entire Canadian Football League in yardage with receptions this year. A nice one-on-one pattern against Junior Thurman on the corner. Good hook. Watch, he comes back to the football. Nice soft hands to make that catch. And, well, you know, he has been the favorite target of both Damon Allen and Tony Kimbrough this year. 24 yards on that pickup. A nice opening start for Damon Allen.
A first down for Ottawa at the 49 of Calgary. This is Chris Skinner. Tried the outside and came back to get to the 40-yard line. McCrary made the stop. Set the Stampeder defense for you. Up front, Flint Fleming, Eugene Beliveau, Mitchell Price, Will Johnson, and the linebackers we talked about earlier, Finley, Landry, and Ford.
Nice secondary, too. Ronnie Hopkins, Junior Thurman gets more comfortable game after game now that he's starting on the corner, replacing Chris Major. Greg Peterson, bit of an interesting story with him in the middle today. You'll notice 2 casts he is wearing, one for a broken thumb on the one hand. The other hand, he's got a broken bone in his wrist. Now, I want to see him try and make a catch today.
He may not be intercepting. He may be batting down.
I would think so.
Sorry, Lee. injured, and it'll be Kent Warnock moving into his spot at defensive tackle.
Nice to be able to bring a guy in off the bench that's second in the league in sacks. Kent Warnock.
He's had some injury problems. Good play for the Ottawa Rough Riders as David Conrad makes the catch. And another Ottawa first down after a 10-yard gain.
Well, David Conrad hasn't seen a lot of action so far this season. That's only his 4th reception of the year, but he's got a couple of touchdowns already. Nice percentage and a good safe pass for Damon Allen. He's put together a nice opening drive.
Another Ottawa first down at the 31. This is Chris Skinner, and Skinner fights his way inside the 25.
Now, Calgary's a tough team to run the draw against because of Doug Landry in the middle and Kenny Ford on the outside, but Chris Skinner with a pretty good effort, second effort. And, you know, you just seem to see that extra confidence that the Rough Riders have on this opening drive. That win against Saskatchewan was such a big lift for them, and, boy, they picked up right where they left off last week.
A gain of 7. This will be 2nd and 3. Ottawa at the Calgary 24. Skinner once more should have enough for the first down. He's inside the 20. 5 yards. So Larry Kuharek a little concerned about this opening Ottawa drive, and he should be.
Well, I think he should. You know, they're second in the league in total defense. Have put an excellent defense together, and they're pretty stingy against the run, too. And so far, Chris Skinner's had a couple of nice runs against them.
Allen, time to throw, looks to the end zone for Alphen, and batted away at the last possible second by Junior Thurman, who just came over. That floated a little bit, Leaf.
Yeah, it really did. That was a heck of a play by Junior Thurman. Alphen took him to the inside, ran the post corner, and had Damon Allen thrown it just a little earlier, I'm sure it would have been a touchdown, but nice recovery. You see the good spin turn by Junior Thurman to get back and break that up.
It'll be 2nd and 10 Ottawa at the Calgary 19.
That's the tough corner of the end zone there. They look back right into the sun.
Goes to the other side for Ken Abraire, and just past his outstretched fingertips. McCrary was with Abraire, and about a yard too far, Leaf.
Well, still a good throw. You know, Damon Allen picked out the right guy. The offensive line did a super job forming a nice pocket for him to throw from. And they had 2 good shots at the touchdown, but nevertheless a nice opening drive, and Dean Dorsey will come in, and he had a great week last week. 7 of 8 of field goals.
And that tied an Ottawa team record set by Jerry Organ. Actually beat Jerry Organ's old record. He tied it and then beat it with his 7th. Dorsey from the 26. And he's off to another good start. Ottawa on the scoreboard first once more. Same story as 1 week ago against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Ottawa leading Calgary 3-0. Dean the kicking machine. That was his story last week. So far perfect today.
Well, he's been a great guy for Ottawa, you know, very involved in the offseason trying to promote the Ottawa Rough Riders. And, you know, he had his shot at the National Football League, had a good chance with the Philadelphia Eagles, and just couldn't quite do it. He said he was extremely happy to come back to Ottawa. He found it very relaxing being back here. And as you can see, he had a nice week last week.
And so did the Ottawa Rough Riders as a team, winning over a pretty good football team from Saskatchewan.
When our chat with Steve Goldman yesterday, I thought it was interesting. You know, I asked him, have you been talking about playoffs with the players? And he said, you know, hey, they read the paper enough. They know how many points they're behind Toronto. I don't have to mention it. I just worry about getting them ready, a young team ready, week in and week out to play. And I think that's pretty good philosophy.
Terrence Jones, the starting quarterback for the Stampeders this afternoon. He has won a ball game for Calgary. This is Tim Petros. Petros across the 40. So he has better than 5 yards in his first carry. Stopped by Patrick Wayne. Jones, the quarterback, with the running backs, Lorenzo Graham and Tim Petros. The inside receivers Marshall Toner and Brock Smith, and outside Mark Zeno and Larry Willis.
If Mark Zeno can come through and be the receiver that they think he has the potential to be, it'll really help them, because they've really struggled in the last few seasons, have not had the balance to balance off a Larry Willis. Teams can rotate the Willis, but now with Zeno playing better, it's got to help them.
Jones in trouble and down. Back from behind, Gary Columbus. And Alex Carter, actually it was Carter finally bringing him down.
Alex Carter did not play last week, had a hamstring problem, and they are happy to have him back in the lineup. 6'5", 255, of course, was with the Edmonton Eskimos, and Ottawa picked him up in the 1989 equalization draft. If you look at statistics, John, Ottawa's probably last in every defensive category, but it's really not indicative of how they've played the last month. They're really starting to tighten that defense down a bit.
It's pretty good left-footed kick for Pee Wee Thurman. He has a seam. Finally sandwiched out about the 52. Good return for Pee Wee Thurman. 27 yards after a good kick by Matic at 47.
Well, he's averaging almost 22 yards a punt return. That's pretty good average, and Pee Wee gets the crowd excited and gives Damon Allen some nice field position to work with. Well, you could stick him in the glove compartment of your car, couldn't you?
5'6", 135. Allen in a mix-up as Avrera was the closest receiver. Ray McDonald was running an out pattern. Avrera floating out there a little bit, but no one was near the pass by Damon Allen.
Now, did Pee Wee grow 4 inches since last week, or what?
What, did I give him 5'6"?
Yeah, he's 5'2".
5'2",
yeah.
I'm sorry, okay.
He'd like to be 5'6".
135, is that correct?
That's close. Soaking wet.
Ottawa leading 3-0, 2nd and 10 for the Rough Riders. Bit of an opening for Damon Allen. He likes to run and should have the first down. Forced out at the far side by Junior Thurman. And I don't think Junior is related to Pee Wee.
It's related to Dennis, who was a great corner for the Dallas Cowboys for many years. This is what we talked about in the opening about Damon Allen, though. He has to take control of a football game at certain times. He is not going to have his receivers open all the time, and he has to be very selective when he runs and pick up those first downs. He does a nice job there. He did a nice job last week in that win over Saskatchewan. Of course, he is the leading rusher on the club. 423 yards coming into the game, and I think Steve Goldman would agree that he wants Damon Allen to run. I mean, you always risk injury, but for the offense to be successful, they can't rely on Gerald Alfin all the time. Damon Allen has to take control.
With well-timed running plays like that last one that will go for a first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Last week against Saskatchewan, one big play late in the ball game, 50-yard quarterback draw.
Yeah, that was great.
Really set up the victory, or at least solidified it for Ottawa over Saskatchewan. 3-0 Ottawa leading Calgary. Steve Goldman in his first year as head coach of the Ottawa Rough Riders. 9 years in the Canadian Football League before taking over as a head coach. The numbers on Allen, a rushing average of 7.4, and that is impressive. This time he hands off to Chris Skinner, and Skinner battles his way to the 41. Running game much more in evidence this afternoon, Lee, for Ottawa.
Well, so far this year, they've really been hurting in that department. They only get about 77 yards a game, but Rocco Romano, number 58, makes a nice block on Tank Landry. Skinner cuts it up, and so far they've been able to get some yards on first down running, and oh, what a difference that would make for a Damon Allen.
Now they're going behind Gerald Roper a little bit. Do you suppose that's the big difference for Ottawa so far today?
I would think that they have confidence running behind the rope.
2nd and 4. Allen gunned down at the far side. Will Johnson, number 81.
Will Johnson's got some great speed. He's about a 4.7 40, and for his size at 6'5", 245, that's exceptional. And anytime you can drag down a Damon Allen, your linemen have some good speed. Played 11 games with Chicago Bears in 1987, really as a special teams man and a linebacker, but here in the Canadian Football League playing that rush end position.
Tom Schimmer out near his 50. A slight breeze behind him as he aims to the end zone for Fields. And one more to the Ottawa total as Howard Fields gives up the single point on a long kick by Tom Schimmer. A 54-yard single as Ottawa continues to hang out of the lead. It is now 4-0 over the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, the Calgary offensive line really has taken shape this season. You know, Lloyd Fairbanks, they talked him out of retirement. Dan Ferroni, of course, over from the Argonauts. Leo Blanchard in the trade with BC. You know, between those three guys, Fairbanks, Ferroni, and Blanchard, over 500 games of CFL experience. No substitute for that kind of experience.
Everybody but Spallettini has been somewhere else at one point in their CFL careers. Here's the matchup defensively from Ottawa.
Well, Joe Samalo played his first game last week, was very impressive, and I know they're looking for big things from him. Secondary, well, Scott Flagel, what a job he did last week, and that enthusiasm that he injected, boy, was something else.
On first down, Lorenzo Graham stopped after a gain of 2. Second down and 8 now for the Calgary Stampeders. Ottawa leading the TSN Game of the Week from Lansdowne Park, 4-0. Still early in the opening quarter. Jones with time to throw. Couldn't slide it through, intending it for Brock Smith, number 85. Flagel over on the coverage.
Well, that was an interesting set that Calgary came out with. The 3 receivers to the wide field. They run one guy in the flat, one guy in the hook, and then Brock Smith to the corner. Scott Flagel did a super job to come all the way over from the middle. Boy, defense has really picked up in the last couple of weeks for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Brent Matich for Pee Wee Thurman. Another good kick for Matich. Thurman back to the 25, and he's buried there.
25-yard punt, 6-yard return by Thurman.
There's Pee Wee.
McVay on the tackle.
He's been to Texas a time or two.
Ball on their 30.
Graduate of Texas Tech. It's the highlight of his season so far, a 91-yard punt return touchdown against Hamilton. First and 10 Ottawa. This is Stafford, number 33, Anthony Stafford. Will Johnson made the stop along with Matt Finley. Stafford is out of Oklahoma.
He spent some time with the Denver Broncos in their training camp. He's the designated import today, and they told us they would try and work him in to inject some extra speed in that backfield.
Second down. Stafford once more. And he should convert for the first down or come very close to it as he took the pass from Damon Allen.
You know, he's only 5'8" and 183 pounds. Not a big guy, but he ran pretty hard there. Nice touch on the football by Damon Allen. Good pressure coming in from Will Johnson, but a nice catch. And watch this. That's Kenny Ford. He's one of the hardest hitters in the league, and Anthony Stafford runs right over him. I can't believe it. 5'8", 183, and Kenny Ford is a tough guy to run over.
5:25 to go in the opening quarter with the Ottawa Rough Riders in front of the Calgary Stampeders, 4-0.
And that is Kenny Ford, who has stayed down on the field. Told you in the opening, he leads all outside linebackers in the Canadian Football League in tackles this year. He's having a heck of a season. Last year, Western All-Star.
Ford will be back. In the meantime, Dan Wicklum comes in for at least one play.
Nice to see Dan Wicklund back. He had a devastating knee injury last year, worked like crazy in the offseason to rehabilitate it, and now back in the lineup, mostly playing the special teams for Calgary, but backing up the linebacking spot as well.
1st and 10 Ottawa with Stafford carrying at the 45, and he's met there by Tank Landry, number 39.
Tank's just having another normal season. 77 tackles coming into today's game. 2nd in the league to David Albright.
And here's the odd man out as far as the Ottawa Rough Riders are concerned in the running back category. Orville Lee. First time he has not started in 1989. He wasn't getting the job done, I guess, is really the long and the short of it. Lee was averaging 2.8 yards per carry.
Well, you certainly can't put all the blame on Orville Lee. I mean, the offensive line has not done a good job walking for the run this year, but
good move by Chris Skinner after taking the pass, but he comes up short of the first down. Matt Finley and Howard Fields over to make the stop. And it'll be 3rd and about 4. Tom Schimmer had a pretty good first kick this afternoon with a breeze at his back. Bad snap. Now Schimmer gets a chance to get it away and does. Pretty good kick considering the rush. And he pins Calgary back inside the 30. Is he thinking about throwing it, Lee, for a half a second?
I don't think so. I think he wanted to kick it all the time. He just had to pick an open spot to kick it.
The Ottawa Rough Riders hang on to a 4-0 lead. Lots more ahead from Lansdowne.
On the road to the championship.
Well, Tom Schimmer does a nice job here getting this punt away. Now, a lot of people might say, hey, that's roughing the kicker. Watch, there's going to be contact. But once he leaves that kicking lane, he is fair game. That's Dan Wicklund coming in, and they can hit him, have him do whatever they want. But he did a nice job to get that punt away. Pretty good kick, too. See the contact there by Dan Wicklund, but Tom Schimmer is fair game once he leaves that normal kicking routine.
30-yard punt, that'll affect the average a little bit for Tom Schimmer, but I'm sure he's pretty happy to get it away. It'll be a first down for the Stampeders. Back inside the Calgary 28.
It was interesting to listen to Larry Kuharich yesterday talk about his team. You know, they have been in a rebuilding process the last few seasons, but he feels like that they are in the final stages of that rebuilding process. They've got the quarterbacking, they feel, to take this team to greater heights, and heck, they're in 2nd place and have a chance to really solidify that position today.
First down for Jones and the Stampeders, and time to throw as Jones goes over the middle and has his target, Marshall Toner, number 76. Perfect pass from Terrence Jones. Darrell Hopper made the stop, number 91.
That's a great throw by Terrence Jones. You see the strength of his arm right there. Marshall Toner finds a seam up the middle, makes a good catch. You know, for a slot back, he's averaging almost 20 yards of reception, and he picked up 33 on that one. And instant field position.
Calgary's first down. And the Stamps begin here from the 48 of Ottawa. This is Lorenzo Graham, and Graham has another first down for the Calgary Stampeders, so they've got 2 in a row.
Boy, number 76, Lloyd Lewis, was in the backfield almost at the same time. Lorenzo Graham takes the handoff, but he just simply runs right by him. There you see, it was supposed to be a trap, but they didn't even have to block Lloyd.
14-yard gain for Lorenzo Graham to set the Calgary Stampeders up with a first down at the Ottawa 34. Jones, time to throw. Now the pocket evaporates. Jones decides to carry himself halfway to a first down at least as he steps out near the 30.
Terrence Jones, he's good size, 6'1", 210 pounds, good running ability, great arm on the run as he throws it. But Alex Carter really made the mistake there. You know, as a defensive end, you don't want to get blocked down to the inside and allow a quarterback to get to the outside. He did that, and Terrence Jones picked himself up about 7 or 8 yards.
7. This is 2nd and 3. Calgary and Petros carries. Flag down. Petros would have the first down.
Ottawa number 74 was
Joe Samalo, number 74, offside, so they will move the sticks. He played a great game last week, had a sack. No, he was with the Calgary Stampeders earlier this season on their practice roster, and they had to move him off. Ottawa claimed him and have him in the lineup. He played well.
That's the first penalty of the game. Calgary with a first down at the Ottawa 22. Jones, time to throw. Now has to get out of there. Carter had a shot at Terrence Jones. Jones goes to the end zone and should have. I thought he might have made the catch behind the line, Leaf, but
that's a tough call. I mean, Brock Smith makes a nice catch, an adjustment back, helping his quarterback out, runs a good deep pattern in the end zone, then sees Terrence Jones in trouble, comes back and helps him out. And you'll see right here, it looked like he was in the end zone when he caught it, but by the time he came down, his feet touched about the 1-yard line. But what an arm Terrence Jones has.
Oh, he landed at the 1.
Yep.
So it'll be 1st and goal to go. Calgary. Flags down. Jones carried, but we'll wait and see what the infraction was.
first down again.
So they'll get another shot at it. Terrence Jones obviously did not make it into the end zone on that quarterback sneak. Now he's a good size, but I kind of like Lorenzo Graham running it a little better than Terrence Jones.
Jones over 200.
Oh yeah, he's 210. He's good size.
It'll be another 1st and goal to go at the 1. Tim Petros. There's a better call, and there's the touchdown for the Calgary Stampeders. First of the afternoon as Calgary takes the lead for the first time on the Ottawa Rough Riders at 6-4. Terrific drive for Calgary that time.
Nice job by the offensive line. Good surge. You'll see right here. This is a great angle on short yardage to have a look at the helmets meeting Timmy Petros. No problem with a 1 yard. His 3rd touchdown of the season. Another good look at it. Good block by the center, Mike Palumbo. Timmy Petros follows him into the end zone.
No problem with the extra point by Mark McLaughlin. And it's a 7-point to 4-point ball game right now. 7-4. Calgary leading the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Yeah, interesting that most teams go into a short yardage kind of offense when they get down at the goal line. Calgary continues to stay with the 4 receiver set. Nevertheless, they still get the touchdown with Tim Petros. Boy, I remember Petros in the 1983 Vanier Cup. He still holds the record for 267 yards in rushing in that game. Of course, he was with the University of Calgary Dinosaurs in those days.
Stampeders have had a pretty good running game since they've added Lorenzo Graham in '89. They started off a little bit slowly. In fact, Calgary lost its first 2 games, but they have built a pretty good ball club in Calgary. Ball fell off the tee. Didn't travel the necessary 10 yards, did it?
Nope. Remember the big Z, Zenon Andrushishin, one time he wound up, gave it the nice 10-yard run. Just as he went to kick it, the ball flew off the tee, hyperextended his knee.
I guess we shouldn't laugh at that.
Oh, I thought it was funny.
Charlie Brown used to have some difficulty with that too, didn't he? With Lucy. Now Junior or Pee Wee has nowhere to go. There's an extra Thurman out on the field this afternoon. That is Pee Wee Thurman.
That was a nice scoring drive by the Calgary Stampeders. 5 plays, 82 yards. Big pass play to Brock Smith to set it up for the 1-yard touchdown run by Tim Petros. Terrence Terrence Jones looking pretty calm and cool when he had some pressure, able to get outside and throw on the run. Boy, you look in the record book from Tulane University, and his name is in every passing category as the record holder.
First down, Ottawa. Damon Allen has to get out of there now. On the run for Ken Abraire, can't hang on. Catchable football. Abraire would have turned a big first down for Ottawa had he been able to hang on.
Well, you know, you like to answer a scoring drive with a scoring drive of your own, and they had a great opportunity here. Kenny Abraire does a nice job, sees his quarterback in trouble, and Damon Allen really should have been able to complete this pass. This is a pretty tough ball to catch. You know, be low and behind you when you're running one way. I mean, that would have been a great catch. Although Kenny Abraire can make those. He's an All-Canadian 2 years at Laurier.
It looked a little more difficult from that angle, didn't it? Allen 50% on the afternoon so far. 13 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. 2nd and 10. Ottawa. Allen carries himself, and he's sandwiched at the 40, well short of a first down. Warnock and Finley there for Calgary.
The man they call the Warrior, big number 93, Kent Warnock, pays Damon Allen a visit. They're going to rotate 5 defensive linemen in today's game. Clint Fleming, Beliveau, Price, Will Johnson, and Kent Warnock. The 5 will rotate, keeps everybody fresh.
That is the end of the opening quarter. Well, hang on. We've got 1 second unofficially on the scoreboard.
He's scary looking, isn't he?
He's tall.
Yeah.
Did an interview with Kent once. And
you were on the bench.
I looked him
weren't you?
right in the belly button. A couple of weeks ago, we were in Winnipeg. Schimmer has had a little difficulty hanging on to snaps from center, and Howard Fields will have no return on that kick as it trickles out at the 26. That's the end of quarter number 1 at Ottawa. With the Rough Riders scoring first, the Calgary Stampeders scoring the first major of the afternoon. And after 1 quarter, it is Calgary leading Ottawa 7-4. Back at Lansdowne, live and ready to begin the second quarter. Scott Flagel, a big part of the Ottawa Rough Riders' success last week. First down for Calgary, and Lorenzo. It's Lorenzo Graham out near the 30. Stopped by Columbus. Gary Columbus.
Well, there's Scott Flagel. You know, it's interesting. I asked Steve Goldman, how can a guy as good a player as Scott Flagel is, who traded 2 years in a row, and he said, I didn't ask. I just took him as fast as I could get him.
It was a great move last week because he was the spirit of the Ottawa defense 1 week ago against Saskatchewan. This is 2nd and 7 for Calgary. Terrence Jones back in a hurry, and had to be. Here comes the charge. Jones is down.
Carter, number 96.
Good pressure on the blitz from Patrick Wayne, too. And that time, Alex Carter did the right thing. Remember a couple plays ago or a series ago, he got caught to the inside. Jones got outside. Well, this time, you know, he was told, stay to the outside. Do not let the quarterback get by you. Patrick Wayne flushes him out of the pocket, and there's Alex Carter to put the hammer down. A nice defensive job.
Second sack for Ottawa. Partially blocked as Matic goes down. There is no flag, however. And now it is picked up by Calgary. Yock.
And now the officials throwing a flag down, indicating that Pee Wee Thurman did not touch the football. And, of course, that would be no yards from that spot. Bad play really by Jim Yock, just in case there was ever any doubt or hesitation by the official.
The indication is it will be Ottawa football out near the 45.
Ottawa coming, trying to block the kick, and look as though Darrell Hopper might have got a piece of that football.
they get this all sorted out. Referee Bud Steen.
It's been a big meeting.
Meeting of the Board of Governors.
Okay, Calgary, number 30, no yards, first down.
They got Yock for no yards.
Of course, you know, he's telling the coach now, hey, Thurman touched it. I mean, why would I do that if you hadn't touched it?
It'll be a first down for Ottawa at the Calgary 50. Stampeders lead it 7-4. Good fake by Allen. Time to throw. Looks long. And not quite. Intended for McDonald. Ray McDonald, number 88. And Ron Hopkins was covering. Numbers after the opening quarter fairly close when you look at total yards and net yards. No turnovers so far. And Ottawa actually had the control of the football for more than 2 minutes. Better than Calgary. 2nd and 10, Rough Riders now. The Stampeder 50. Over the middle for Wilcox. And he should have a first down. Matt Finley. See how close he is to a first.
Gerald Wilcox was the first pick in the '89 draft. First pick overall. Ottawa Rough Riders selecting him from Weber State. 6'2", 231. But he couldn't use that size and get the extra few yards for the first down. But as they have in this entire first half, Tom Schimmer is punting from around midfield with an opportunity to pin Calgary deep in its own territory.
Pretty good kick. This is Darcy Kopp on the return for Calgary. Kopp gets away from the first wave of tacklers. Now there's a flag down back in the area of the Ottawa kicker. We'll see what that's about. 12:36 to play till halftime, with Calgary leading Ottawa 7-4. Holding against Ottawa is the initial indication from referee Bud Steen. Lots of time left till halftime. Calgary in front of Ottawa 7-4.
Ottawa,
We'll be right back.
96 was holding on that run back. First down. Timeout.
Our game of the week from Lansdowne in Ottawa. Chris Skinner and the Rough Rider offense talking things over. Skinner, number 36, has taken over as the main man running back for Ottawa from that man, number 22, Orville Lee. The rookie of the year. Last year, he has struggled as a ball carrier in 1989.
It really has. You know, a lot of factors go into that. Of course, Orville Lee's confidence maybe not at an all-time high, but the offensive line has not done a great job blocking for the run this season.
1st and 10 Calgary, and nowhere to go as Columbus put a big stop on Tim Petros.
Gary Columbus is having himself a pretty good first half. They, of course, have revamped the front four of the Ottawa Rough Riders with Joe Samalo and Alex Carter at the ends, Columbus and Lloyd Lewis the tackles. And that is not a bad front four. Gary Columbus, of course, played with the Eskimos, Edmonton Eskimos, for a couple of years. Nice size, 6'1", 275.
Gain of 2. This is 2nd and 8 Calgary. Stamps at the 28. Over the middle. And a big first down for Calgary. Up near the 45, make it the 48. Lorenzo Graham.
That's a nice
22.
Sorry, John. That's a nice catch for Lorenzo Graham. Boy, anytime you have a running back that averages over 10 yards of reception, I mean, you're really in business. Watch that concentration right there. He averages almost 15 yards a catch out of the backfield. And oh, what a help that is to your offense. Nice soft hands for a running back.
1st and 10 Calgary. Out the 48. Petros to the far side and dragged down from behind. Paul McGowan. Number 29. Good tackle from McGowan. Player of the week in the couple of weeks back.
Well, I'm sure he's feeling a little more comfortable. This is now his 4th game playing for Ottawa, 3rd game starting in the middle. The first game he played the outside. You know, he's a rookie from Florida State. He won the Dick Butkus Award in college football. That award is for the most outstanding linebacker in U.S. college football. That is a prestigious award. You know, he had to play some pretty good college football to get that one.
Gain of 2. This will be 2nd and 8 for the Stampeders. Jones can't quite connect as he looked for Willis, I should say, Larry Willis.
Well, Larry Willis has a 49-game consecutive catching streak, and I know he would have liked to grab that one to keep that streak alive, but I'm sure we'll see him with at least 1 reception before this day is over.
It'll be a Calgary 3rd down. Here's Pee Wee. Waiting this kick from Brent Matic. Pee Wee back near his 15. And chase back to the 10. Up to the 20. Just about found the hole, but Ken Ford, number 97, was there. Like a good tackle on Pee Wee Thurman.
Well, that sure was. You know, if Ford doesn't make that play, Pee Wee Thurman goes for a long run. But this is what all the great punt returners and kickoff returners do. When they see that little hole, they accelerate. Watch the acceleration right there, and then boom.
Ottawa's had much better field position than this throughout the afternoon. This is 1st down Ottawa at the 20. And a loss of a couple. Mitchell Price came through and submarined the ball carrier.
Well, they had the blitz coming, so all the defensive linemen just pick a gap and try and shoot that gap. Mitchell Price got in there, and really no chance to pick up any yards on that run. Not a situation that Ottawa wants to be in today against this tough Calgary defense. 2nd and 11. Got to be very careful.
Allen looks deep for Alphin down the sidelines. And was well out of bounds.
Damon Allen might have hurt his hand on that. As he followed through, he hit somebody right in the helmet, and you'll see as he's going off the field that right hand is a little tender. Go back and have a look at it. Watch as he follows through. It's hard to see. Looks like he hits Will Johnson's helmet with his hand. And that's smarts.
Tom Shimmer to kick into the breeze. Another tough snap for Shimmer to hold. Decent kick away. This is Howard Fields on the return. Fields tripped up by the first man down. It was Pat Miller, number 38. Calgary Stampeders on the exchange will have excellent field position to begin their next drive. An 8-yard return, a 40-yard kick. Ottawa, 9 minutes, 12 seconds till halftime. The Calgary Stampeders leading the hometown Rough Riders 7-4.
Tom Shimmer did a nice job. He's getting a workout back there with Scott Flagel snapping the football in those 3rd down situations today.
He's gotten them all away, but a couple have been a little close.
Getting a little scary.
Calgary with a 1st down beginning at the Ottawa 51, and here's Lorenzo Graham. A good run to get inside the 40, stopped by McGowan, and a 1st down.
Well, I'm really surprised that the Calgary Stampeders have not done more of this in the first half. You know, they're 2nd in the league rushing the football. They average about 140 yards a game. Ottawa, of course, gives up the most yardage on the ground with their defense. I would suspect you see Terrence Jones hand off a few more times on 1st down to Lorenzo Graham.
From the 38, flags down. Jones almost picked off by Troy Wilson, number 26. A little procedure call against Blanchard, perhaps.
I think he was the one that jumped. That's a great opportunity for Ottawa on defense. You know, they know the play is coming back. That's a given, and Troy Wilson had a chance to make that interception. Boy, he's good at it. Last year he had 10, tied for the league lead. This year with 4.
Legal procedure, Calgary number 59. The penalty is declined. It's second down.
He'll be 2nd and 10. Stampeders. Calgary leading 7-4. Stamp scrimmage at the Ottawa 38. Jones, a screen for Petros. This could be a first down. He lost the ball. Still loose. Picked up, and a chance for Blanchard to redeem himself. He's down to the 2. I think he was grabbed down by a face mask, but Leo Blanchard. Is that the old guard eligible or tackle eligible play, Lee, if you wobble it like that? He was looking for the end zone.
I think if we had a close-up of his face right now, he'd be giggling and laughing, because what a play he made, though. Tim Petros, no reason why he coughed it up, but watch this.
Great hands by Blanchard. Look at
soft hands, puts the head down, the straight arm, everything.
And it took about 3 to drag him down.
We had a fumble, we had a recovery, we had a straight arm, we had a face mask. I mean, that's a lot of stuff for one play.
Everything. Aussie rules football at Lansdowne this afternoon. And the quarterback has the touchdown as Terrence Jones sneaks in on 1st and goal to go. Set up on a great run and fumble recovery by Leo Blanchard.
Well, that's tough on a defense. You know, they had a chance to get the takeaway there on the fumble, and all of a sudden bad play turns into a good play for the Calgary Stampeders. But, you know, defensively, the Ottawa Rough Riders have played pretty well today, and that's got to be pretty disheartening to have something like that happen to you.
Pokes it home once more to give the Calgary Stampeders a 10-point advantage on Ottawa. And there's the man of the moment, Leo Blanchard, an almost touchdown for a long-time veteran in Canadian football. Calgary leading Ottawa 14-4 with 7:49 to play till halftime.
Members of the Ottawa Riders 65 Roses Sports Club. A great time for family fun here at Lansdowne. Next home game, 3 weeks from today, October 22nd.
Calgary Stampeders leading the Rough Riders here in the second quarter. Right now, David Allen's going to take charge of this Ottawa offense. They've been going a little bit long a couple of times. The Stampeders have started to key on the running play a little bit and take some of that away. They have to keep running the ball. I think they have to do a little less of it on first down, guys. And but Damon's got to make something happen here right now, because the offense has sputtered since midway in the first quarter.
5, 6, 3, 12, 12.
Well, we'll see what Damon can do with the Ottawa offense. He has been the story. He had Ottawa moving a little bit earlier.
Yeah, nice opening drive, but John, you know, I really think the key for Damon Allen is to get to that rollout style of offense. I know we've talked about this before, but you know, you cut the field in half for a quarterback. He doesn't have to make so many tough reads, and of course he always has the opportunity to either throw or run, and I think that is the absolute perfect style of offense for Damon Allen.
This is Pee Wee Thurman on the Ottawa return. Out to the 20. Some room to the outside. Can he turn the corner? Not quite, but he turns in a pretty good return. Brought down by Jay Christensen, number 88 at the 36. 27 yards for Pee Wee Thurman. Good field position for Ottawa.
Pee-wee does a nice job here, and boy, he excites this crowd at Lansdowne Park every time he touches the football. A little bump there, but Jay Christensen shows some pretty good speed. I thought Thurman was going to get around the corner, but he hauls him down from behind. That's a good tackle.
Rough Rider first down at the Ottawa 36. Damon Allen time to throw. And off target slightly for Ray McDonald. There's Ronnie Hopkins covering on McDonald on the far side. Stampeders' last scoring drive, 4 plays to cover 51 yards, and Terrence Jones has the 1-yard touchdown. Second and 10, Ottawa. From the 36. Allen for Skinner. He might have thought that the tank was in the vicinity.
The tank had the sights zeroed right in on that 3-6, right in the spot between those two numbers, and Skinner said,
Did you ever short arm
never.
a possible reception?
Never. How can you ask me that?
Maybe pull the hands back and...
How could you ever ask me that on national TV? Did I ever short arm a ball? Never. Well, maybe one or two.
I saw that picture in your basement.
Oh, I should have never shown you that picture.
You went for the one-hander.
Yeah.
And it looked great.
And the other arm was protecting the hit coming from Ken Downing, who used to play in the middle here for Ottawa, who was a heck of a hitter.
Darcy Kopp on the return, and he's going to grab maybe 2 yards as he dives under.
Do you remember what my basement looked like?
No, I just remember that one picture.
Because you're not going to see it again.
No, I do remember another picture behind the bar there.
Yeah.
You with the smiling face, looking so cute, about what, 75?
79, the Shenley one, yeah.
The Shenley runner-up with a Hamilton Tiger Cats that year. That's right. You look very innocent.
I was. Nothing's changed. Typical Terrence Jones game, only 6 attempts so far in the first half. He doesn't feel like he has to throw the ball on every play, and that's good for a young quarterback.
Throws on that play for Tim Petros, and Petros gets out to the 55.
Boy, Timmy Petros has done a great job for the Calgary Stampeders. You know, he's certainly not the flashiest back around, but game after game, when he's called upon to run, catch, block, he picks up the blitz as well as any back in the league. And what a valuable Canadian guy to have in the backfield.
6:08 till halftime, with Calgary leading Ottawa 14-4.
Well, Larry Caharrick really mentioned that offensive line. There you see Lloyd Fairbanks. The key was to get him out of retirement and anchor that left side. And boy, oh boy, they've been able to protect the quarterback really well this season.
1st and 10 for Jones over the middle, and has a strike for Brock Smith. Nice catch by number 85, Brock Smith. 25 yards, second big catch he's made today.
Well, you talk about courage. He really makes an outstanding catch here. He knows he's going to get hammered by Scott Flagel. Anytime you come in Flagel's area, you're going to get hit and get hit hard, but he does a super job of getting the ball and turning his body quickly to absorb that hit.
Warming up on the Ottawa side, the backup, Tony Kimbrough. Meanwhile, first down for Calgary as Jones looks for Smith again, and he can't hang on that time. Covered by Tyrone Pope. Hang on, that's Larry Willis, number 89.
That's tough, 89, 85. They both play the same side. They both went to Fresno State. Larry Willis, I believe, still looking for his first catch this afternoon. Bobby Layden gives the nod. Keep that 49-game streak going. Got a ball in every game he's played as a Stampeder.
This is 2nd and 10. Stampeders at the Ottawa 28. Big play for the Ottawa defense here. Petros on the draw, flag down as Petros continues to go and heads to the end zone. He has a touchdown pending the flag back at the line. It's coming back, Lever.
It is coming back, but that's tough for Tim Petros. We'll hear the call.
65 Calgary was holding on the play. It'll be second down repeated.
Mike Palumbo, the center, gets nailed for the holding call, and you know, Timmy Petros is the kind of guy that's going to say, hey, Mike, shake it off, no problem. But that was a great run, wasn't it?
It really was. All the way back with 4:54 till halftime. Calgary in front of Ottawa by 10, 14-4. This is 2nd and 20. Stampeders back now at the Ottawa 38. Jones with time, far side for Smith. Nowhere near the intended receiver.
That's a big break for Ottawa. They're going to, you know, the worst that's going to happen is they give up 3 points, but a touchdown there and 21-4 really would be critical. Now they still got a chance to stay in this game.
Looks like we'll have Tony Kimbrough coming in to the ball game as soon as Ottawa gets the football back. Just talk to him. He's warmed up and ready to go, and maybe that'll give a little different look to the game, guys, and get Ottawa going here. They've faltered a little bit offensively in the last 20 minutes or so.
Mark McLaughlin adding 3 more to the Calgary total. It could have been worse for the Rough Riders, though. Enter Tony Kimbrough. As McLaughlin makes it 17-4. Calgary in front.
Mark McLaughlin's having a nice year, too. Now he's only 7 field goals away from the Stampeders single-season record held by J.T. Hay. And I'm sure with 5.5 games remaining, he will get that record. Tony Kimbrough on the season, 46%, 4 interceptions, 8 touchdowns. Pretty nice ratio. He is an excellent runner, and he has got a gun for an arm as well.
First down Ottawa with Kimbrough at the controls at the 35. Over the middle for Wilcox. And Finley was there. Wilcox grabbed close to 5.
Had Finley in his 3rd start this afternoon. Originally drafted by the Montreal Concords back in 1986 in the 3rd round.
That a 7-yard gain. This is 2nd and 3. Rough Riders at the 42. Charges on Kimbrough. He gets away from the first wave, and again, barely back to the line of scrimmage. Kimbrough shaken up.
Matt Finley once again in on the tackle. Boy, he had a great run there just to pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Is going to come back into the ballgame rather quickly.
Oh, you don't like to see that. Tough to tell. He must have twisted it when he went down underneath that tackle.
He's in some kind of agony right now.
Boy, he makes a great effort to get away from about 3 or 4 guys. There's one. He gets by Warnock. Another play to get by Will Johnson right here with a super move. We'll just see what happens at the end of this. The Tank gets an arm on him.
Looks like he landed on his right knee, Lee.
Tough to tell. Well, another look here. And Tank makes the initial hit, and Matt Finley comes in from behind. It's the left knee, I believe.
Darcy Kopp, Howard Fields, low snap for Shimmer again. Now he does get it away. Low kick. Fields comes up to grab it. Flags down. And Fields is still going, trying to reverse. Tempers flared down there a little bit, and another flag comes down. Still a half. Tom Shimmer has had it.
Wow, one more look here, and the quarterback draw. Nice job by Mike Palumbo, the center, to turn Gary Columbus to the outside. Patrick Wayne on the blitz cannot make the play, and 40 yards later, Terrence Jones has his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. The Calgary Stampeders are in complete control.
The problems continue for the Ottawa Rough Riders, Peter.
The right ankle of Tony Kimbrough wrapped in a bag of ice here, and I think Tony's day might be done. Tony, how'd it happen?
I was trying to cut back across the field, and it just rolled over to the side. It's kind of like a basketball injury when you come down on somebody's foot. It just rolled over.
I hope it's nothing worse than a sprain. Thanks for checking.
I don't think it is. I think it should be all right. I won't be back today, though.
After Dave, see you in a week or so. Tony Kimbrough. John?
So it's up to Damon Allen. And that's the way it began this afternoon, up to Damon Allen. He is the #1 quarterback in Ottawa, but when he faltered a couple of weeks ago, Tony Kimbrough came in and got a couple of touchdowns for the Rough Riders against the Tiger Cats.
Yes, he did. Tony Kimbrough with looks like a bright future in the Canadian Football League. Damon Allen, no question, he will be the starter for many years to come here. Tony Kimbrough has the same kind of tools as Terrence Jones does. He's a nice, tall quarterback, good running speed, and a tremendous arm.
Great kickoff by McLaughlin, sails right through the end zone. A little bit of a breeze behind it, wind assist. Scoring drive covering 40 yards in 2 plays. Just 25 seconds to hit the end zone. Terrence Jones on a 40-yard touchdown, his second of the afternoon.
Of course, when a kickoff goes through the end zone without anybody touching it, there's no single point. Comes out to the 25-yard line.
It's a 95-yard kick. But it really just sets Ottawa up with a first down at the 25. See what Allen can do here late in the opening quarter. Out to the 30. Gain of 5. Stopped by Matt Finley, number 37.
Matt Finley's had a good first half and getting some playing time. I mentioned his third start this afternoon. Boy, that is a good linebacking core. You got the Tank in the middle. You got Hollywood Ford on the outside. And now Matt Finley is having himself an excellent game. Trains with the national bobsled team. And someday may represent Canada at the Olympics.
Second down and 3 for Ottawa at the 32. Skinner carries, should have the first down. He's out across the 35, but there's a flag. Stampeders were offside. 2:03 to the half. Calgary with a big 20-point lead on Ottawa.
We talked to Larry Kaharik yesterday, and I thought it was interesting when he said, you know, we have finally got some guys with experience, but, you know, there's a real fine line. It's okay to say we need veteran players, but if they don't play well, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Now we have veterans that play well.
Damon Allen stopped at the 36. Actually lost a yard. Will Johnson and Kent Warnock forcing the quarterback down that time.
They have put a nice team together in Calgary, haven't they? Pretty good receiving core now. Good, tough, strong defense. Second in the league at this point. A guy like Kent Warnock, the Warrior, he's come of age. 10 sacks going into today's game.
Stamps have won 7 of the last 10 ball games.
And they play well on the road, and that is really the mark of a good team.
Minute 43 to go. As Skinner takes a flare pass. Finley makes the tackle, and Skinner looked like he was close to a first down, but he stopped short by a couple. Looked like he had a shot at getting the first down and keeping the drive going for Ottawa, but he comes up 2 yards short, maybe 3.
The Tank took a shot on the knee, and I hope he's all right. It's a good sign he can get up himself.
Maybe Tank will need a little assistance to get off the field. 1:34 to play till halftime. Let's see what happened to Landry.
Oh, Junior Thurman got him, his own player. Tough to keep the Tank down, though.
Time, a minute 34 away. Steve Goldman has a little work to do with the Ottawa Rough Riders at halftime. He's down by 20 points.
They don't seem to have the spark that they had last week against the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, do they?
Some defensive spark last week that was a little uncharacteristic of the Ottawa team we'd seen earlier in the season. The offense has worked reasonably well for Ottawa most of the way, although after the first quarter, Ottawa has stalled offensively this afternoon.
And of course, the defense has been on the field a lot in the second quarter, and you know that will take its toll later in the game.
Tony Kimbrough has finished his chores for the afternoon. The newcomer Gerald Roper smiling in Ottawa.
The Rope said he had trouble watching his old teammates play last night. And of course, we will be out the Dome at BC Place next Friday night. The Hamilton Tiger Cats will try and regroup from the pounding they took from Edmonton the other night, and BC will host them Friday night.
BC BC with a big win last night over Saskatchewan, trying to keep playoff hopes alive. Big finish in that one as the Lions win at 32-30.
Now, do you think John Gregory's in a good mood today?
I think John might be a little grumpy over coffee this morning. He might be
57
grumpy
yards.
over beer this afternoon, too.
57 yards. They went with no time on the clock. A couple of interference penalties.
Now, let's watch. This is an adventure every time Tom Schimmer lines up for a punt. Better snap that time. He gets it away.
New snapper.
Fields on the return. Flags all over the place. A minute 20 left till halftime.
Number 69, first down.
Kari Lirenko, the offensive tackle for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Little roughing. Boy, penalties have hurt the Ottawa Rough Riders this afternoon. You know, and so often roughing and stuff like that, no yards, just a lack of discipline. And sometimes the players' heads are not in the game. Boy, they can't afford to give any more penalties up in crucial situations. They trail by 20. Certainly not insurmountable, but a pretty tough task against a good Calgary defense.
Particularly if they allow any more points here, even a field goal will be a little tough to come back from for the Ottawa Rough Riders. For Toner, and it's well over his head. Toner drew double coverage from Hopper that time, as well as Troy Wilson.
Well, Marshall Toner has kept his 6-game pass catching streak intact. This is the 7th game in a row. He has caught at least one pass. And wind has picked up here in the second quarter, and what that means with Calgary Stampeders almost at midfield, they only have to go at least one more first down really to give Mark McLaughlin a legitimate shot at a field goal.
Minute 15 till the half.
There's Mark McLaughlin. Sorry, John. He's only 7 field goals away from the all-time club record held by J.T. Hay. I would think he will get that this year.
Gary Columbus shaken up and will head to the sidelines. That'll bring in Robert Weir up front. Second and 10. Terrence Jones got away from the pressure from behind. He's forced out short of a first down. He's into the front row of the seats. Front row of the stands, I should say.
Don't spill that beer down there. He's had a nice first half, and of course Larry Koharic has done a nice job with Terrence Jones this year. Did not rush him. He was hurt early in the year. I believe it was a hamstring problem. The Tank has the ice bag on too, and hopefully he will be back in.
3rd and 5, and the Stampeders decide with 1:08 to go they'll try for a first down. Jones will throw. Or will he? He decides to run now. Terrence Jones picks up the first down inside the 45, stopped by Lloyd Lewis.
Well, he needed 5. He got 7. Once again, another good run by Terrence Jones, and he is simply just taking control of this game himself with his running, selective passing. An interesting call by Larry Koharic. You know, you have confidence in your defense when you'll gamble 3rd and 5 from midfield.
Less than a minute to go till halftime. First down, Calgary. At the 45, Jones will throw, looks for Lorenzo, and Graham comes down with a catch inside the 20. Down to about the 17. 28-yard pickup, tackled by Paul McGowan. Now 42 seconds left.
Well, that's the second time today that Lorenzo Graham has made a nice catch down the middle. Good soft hands. Nice matchup on the middle linebacker. That's a matchup you want. He does a good job to shield Paul McGowan away, and nice catch.
Flag should go down. No, it doesn't.
Well, Larry
Willis has had all kinds of problems today. I thought there might have been a flag because Willis fell in the end zone. Maybe he just got tangled up in the defender's feet as well, Daniel Hunter. Willis still hasn't caught one this afternoon. 33 seconds to go till halftime. 2nd and 10, Calgary at the 17. From behind, Carter on Terrence Jones.
Well, John, that was the quarterback draw that he scored with on that 40-yard touchdown run earlier, but Alex Carter said, "Fool me once, you're not going to fool me twice."
Here's McLaughlin with 19 seconds till a half. Chip shot for Mark. Spotted near the 22. And no problem at all as Mark McLaughlin adds to the Calgary Stampeder lead. Now 27-4. 10 seconds to go. Well, the Ottawa Rough Rider defense has buckled here in the opening half. Terrence Jones has had a fairly free afternoon. Tony Kimbrough, the backup quarterback, finished for the afternoon. It's up to Damon Allen once more with a first down. 10 seconds to go. Here's Allen. Flares it out for Conrad. It has not been a good afternoon for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
No, everything's just been kind of out of sync. They had the opening good drive, and since then just have not been able to put anything together. I mean, that's the right kind of play to call. A little swing pass to Conrad, let him run with the football and try and get some momentum back and through the passing game, but they are just a little out of sync this afternoon.
First down himself, comes up a little short. Didn't make much sense because that was the last play of the opening half, so he might well have thrown it upfield and hoped for a bit of a miracle. Running a 7-yard run play didn't do very much for the Ottawa Rough Riders in the last play of the opening half. Stampeders out in front by a bunch. It's 27-4. Calgary leading Ottawa. Now we send you back to TSN Control in Toronto and Paul Romanek.
Halftime in Ottawa. It's the Calgary Stampeders 27 and the Rough Riders 4. The best Ottawa can hope for is that they can come back in the second half the way they did in the second half of the game in Calgary back on the 1st of August. Well, there was a lot of excitement at the Westin Hotel in Calgary. Last Monday night, it was ladies' night, and I think maybe some of the Calgary Stampeder players who were the stars had as much fun as the guests did. Teresa Hergert was there.
Over 700 people crowded into Calgary's Westin Hotel for the Stampeders' first annual Ladies' Huddle. It was a night to educate, entertain, and let loose. The ultimate goal was to sell football tickets, but somewhere along the way, these ladies had fun.
I think it's a good way for ladies to understand football and to become involved, and hopefully that'll bring out more fans and stuff, because a lot I see when I go to the games and stuff, I really love football, but I see a lot of fathers and daughters coming, or a lot of men with their other men friends and stuff, and it's nice to see a lot of women come out.
The Stampeders had the time of their life. The only problem that bothered them, though, they couldn't get into the washroom.
There's women in the men's bathroom.
How come?
There's more of them, I guess. Outnumbered.
So you guys are forced to wait out here while they're in.
Well, we want to go in, but you know, we're having a little respect. You went in anyway.
Other than the bathroom situation, the evening went off without a hitch. Quarterback Tom Porras entertained, and the ladies were trained in taping techniques.
To get 660 plus women here to support the Stampeders, whatever their motives are, is good.
The event sold out in 3 weeks, and the highlight of the evening, or low light, depending on who you talk to, was the player fashion show.
I feel like a cheap date, but the things a man to do for the CFL, huh?
By the time the ladies got through this session, their knowledge of the game probably hadn't improved. But at least they had no trouble recalling the high point of the evening.
Oh, definitely the stripping. No. Actually, meeting all the players and the whole night was really good.
So the first ever ladies huddle in Calgary is a success. They hope to raise about $5,000, and the profits are going to go to basket football. For the CFL Report, I'm Teresa Hergert in Calgary.
All right, Teresa, thank you. It sounded like everybody had a good time for a good cause and a lot of interest in the Stampeders in Calgary this year. And why not? The way their football team is playing, particularly against teams in the East, 6-1 coming into this game. And they're leading the Ottawa Rough Riders 27-4 at the half. From Lansdowne Park in Ottawa, stay with it. Highlights from the first 30 minutes coming up when we come back.
The Ottawa Rough Riders in some considerable trouble at halftime at Lansdowne Park with the Calgary Stampeders out in front 27-4. Time for a couple of minutes in the press box right now with a pal Serge Amiot from Le Réseau des Sports, TSN's sister group in Montreal, and from the Journal de Montreal as we welcome you to our telecast location here. Tell us about the word that they're talking about in Montreal these days, or at least rumbles about it, that there might be another CFL franchise going into that city.
Well, we would like to know about it.
You don't know yet?
We're not aware of it. I know there are some reporters in Montreal who are trying to find out who are interested in that team, and nobody can find anybody. Then the rumor is in Toronto, but it's not in Montreal. In Montreal, what we're talking about, it's about the new World American Football League, but not the CFL. We're not aware of it.
Well, David Braley's brother is apparently one of the people who might be interested in bringing the team, or a team, rejuvenating the Alouettes, perhaps, back in Montreal.
Well, I know that Jerry Snyder is receiving a lot of calls about that. I know that René Forte, who used to be the president of the Alouettes under Nelson Scalabania, received a lot of phone calls about it, but those guys don't know nothing. And we don't know.
So you can't help us out with this hot rumor, sir.
Not at all.
I think that the Ottawa Rough Riders over the years have missed Montreal as a team to have a rivalry with. Ottawa really doesn't have a rival in Canadian football these days.
Yeah, because when the Alouettes were in the league, every game there was 5-10 buses coming down from Montreal to here, or vice versa. And the rivalry was very good. Even when the Alouettes were bad, well, the rivalry was good too, because the Rough Riders were bad too. And when both teams were good, it was great. I remember coming here when Marv Levy and George Brancato were the head coaches, and we had great games here.
Serge, what do you think we'll see in the second half here this afternoon?
Well, one thing for sure, the Riders better find a quarterback. Damon Allen can't pass because he's got a bad elbow, and Tim Kimbrough is hurt. I don't think he will be able to come back in the game. Poor Rough Riders, they must win that game, because the game next week against the Toronto Argonauts would be very important. I don't know what they're going to do, but they have to find a way, first, to stop the Stampeders, and second, to beat them on offense.
All right, thanks very much. We'll talk to you as the season progresses here. Let's continue with halftime now and tell you that the Ottawa Rough Riders are indeed in some difficulty here, with a score of 27-4, favoring the Calgary Stampeders. We'll continue with Lee Pedersen and highlights coming up in just a moment.
Once again, Dean Dorsey, the offensive star, Scott Flegel, the defensive star, and Will Johnson, the lineman of the week, the CFL Stars of the Week.
It's a glorious day in Ottawa, but so far the Rough Rider faithful have had little to cheer about. 27-4 at halftime for the Calgary Stampeders, trying to become the third team in 3 games this week to win on the road in the CFL. Well, the first half dominated by the quarterbacks, dominated decisively by Terrence Jones of the Calgary Stampeders, who won the personal duel with Damon Allen of Ottawa. Let's go upstairs and see what Leaf has to tell us about first half highlights.
Well, Peter, absolutely right. Terrence Jones had himself a whale of a first half, and you know, they've done a great job in how they've brought him along nice and slowly. Now he's really comfortable with that offense, but you know, Calgary had a few breaks along the way in 2 quarters of football. Timmy Petros starts off our highlight package. Now they set up the draw play to him. Now they do a nice job setting the draw, but Tim Petros, for some unknown reason, is going to cough up the football, and lo and behold, number 59 Leo Blanchard, who's trying to throw a block for him, will come up with the football, and Boy, every lineman's dream to try and score a touchdown. Leo Blanchard looks like he knows what he's doing with the football as he goes 23 yards down to the 1-yard line. From there, Terrence Jones takes over himself, and nice quarterback sneak in behind number 66, Dan Ferroni, the veteran left guard. At this point in time, the Calgary Stampeders are ahead 14-4. Terrence Jones, 6 carries for 63 yards in the first half. A couple of touchdowns. This was his second touchdown. As he on the quarterback draw, Patrick Wayne overruns it, and there you see at 6'1", 210 pounds, great athletic ability into the end zone for the touchdown. They add a field goal. That was 24-4. They add a field goal, 27-4. Ottawa only 30 yards of offense in that second quarter. If they don't improve in the second half, it's going to be a long afternoon for them, Peter.
Okay, Leaf, the question for the Calgary Stampeders, can Doug Landry play in the second half? The Stampeders are back on the field. Landry's limping pretty noticeably, but he will give it a shot as play begins here in the second half from Ottawa. Stay with us now. The second half kickoff is next from Lansdowne Park. It's Calgary 27 and Ottawa 4. 30 minutes of football still to play.
One of these times.
Well, the Tank's top. He is back for the second half, or appears that he will be back to be the heart of that Calgary Stampeder defense.
Pretty tough to keep him out of the lineup. Well, here's what happened to him. His own player, Junior Thurman, gives a pop on the knee, and I think when he straightened that knee right out, might have hyperextended it behind the kneecap, and the Tank is kind of shaken out and getting ready to go. He is one tough competitor.
Mark McLaughlin set to get the second half underway. Deep for the Ottawa Rough Riders, Pee Wee Thurman. And Anthony Stafford, number 33 and 85. And I have to get someone to hold it on the tee, Leaf.
Yep, Darcy Kopp's going to do the honors.
Ottawa Rough Riders will have a stiff breeze at their backs. This is Stafford on the return. A bad return for Stafford as something opens up down the side. One man to beat, the kicker. A flag goes down. Did McLaughlin reach for the face mask in desperation? A return of 31 yards for Stafford. That'd be what Ottawa needs to get going.
Run back. First down. Up 15.
Wow, what great field position to start the third quarter. The 34-yard line of the Calgary Stampeders. And I was just thinking what a critical series this might be for Ottawa to get themselves back into this football game. They really have to take advantage of this opportunity. The numbers for one half of football totally favoring the Calgary Stampeders. 265 yards in total offense. Error-free football game. No turnovers.
First down for Ottawa. 34 of Calgary. This is Allen. And Allen gets away somehow. Gets to the outside. Good block on Landry. Kenneth Breder came over to take Landry out of the play.
Boy, that was some block. And the Tank is really taking some shots this afternoon. Boy, it looked like Damon Allen was going to get a lot more out of that run than just a couple, 3 yards. Nice job to get away from everybody up front. Eugene Beliveau had a shot at the end. Watch the block here on Tank Landry by Kenny Abrera. Those slot backs are blockers, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Good hitters downfield.
Old 71. Who? Old, weren't you 71 with the Tiger Cats?
Old is right. You got that part right.
I saw your block.
Sure.
Loose ball. And ruled incomplete pass. I remember your block.
Yep. The one and only one. Tough day for Damon Allen. Well, the initial drive of the game, if you remember back to that, the offensive line did a nice job protecting Damon Allen. Ever since that, it seems like the Calgary Stampeder front four has picked it up just a notch and put a tremendous amount of pressure on Damon Allen and, of course, Tony Kimbrough when he was in for that one series.
(27-4), Calgary leading Ottawa. Dean Dorsey had the big week last week against Saskatchewan. Wind at his back, and Dorsey has his second of the afternoon. what you can early in the second half.
Well, no question about that, but I really think it was key for them with that kind of field position to start a drive. You know, at the other team's 34-yard line, you really have to be thinking touchdown at that point. Nevertheless, they will take anything they get, courtesy of Dean Dorsey's foot.
Up to the Ottawa defense right now, trailing by 20. Calgary first down. Stampeders begin this drive at the 35. Lorenzo Graham, flags all over the place. Do you think there might have been a face mask in there?
I think old Lloyd Lewis is going to get called for that one. Going to have a good look at it right here. Nice trap play by the Calgary Stampeders. They pull number 62, Lloyd Fairbanks, all the way across from his left tackle spot. And there you see the hand on the face mask by Lloyd Lewis. Add another 15 on. Boy, it's imperative for the Ottawa defense to shut things down. They cannot afford to give Calgary any more points. And in fact, we talked about an error-free football game turnover-wise so far, where the Ottawa Rough Riders could really use a turnover.
It's Danny Barrett at the controls now. And this is Graham. Caught from behind. Good job by the Ottawa defense. That time as Carter, number 96, slowed down Graham enough for the rest of the Ottawa right side to come over and make the stop.
Larry Koharic could not say enough nice things about the job that Danny Barrett has done with the Calgary Stampeders this year. The leadership role that he has taken with the club, I guess, would be the most important thing, and helping a young guy like Terry Jones along as well. But all three quarterbacks, of course, Tom Porras has played too. All three quarterbacks have led the team to victories this year.
2nd and 9 for Barrett now. Barrett fires, and it's incomplete out near the 45. Coverage by Patrick Wayne.
Patrick Wayne did a nice job getting back into his hook zone and helping knock that ball loose from Larry Willett, who is still looking for his first catch. But you can't fault Danny Barrett. Boy, he stood in, took the hit, and delivered a pretty good strike. There's Tom Porras in the golf shirt right beside Danny Barrett. He is on the reserve list. They kind of shuffled quarterbacks around this year.
Managed standing near his 40. Good charge from Carter. This is Pee Wee Thurman back near his 10. Thurman to the outside, flag down. They'll take that back. Flipping call going against Don Johnston.
Well, boy, you know, like you're going to see the block. Dan Johnson, number 16. It'll be at the left of your screen, and he really doesn't even have to make the block on Marshall Toner because Pee Wee Thurman was around the corner. I mean, those are the kind of things that will drive coaches insane. Pee Wee Thurman had a huge run back. The block was not necessary at all, and it comes all the way back.
And a horrible place to start for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Back at the 6. This is Stafford with nowhere to go. Absolutely jammed in there. Landry was through. And so was Finley, but Landry got there first.
Well, the old Tank's having his typical year. Couple of sacks, 3 interceptions. Led all the linebackers last year in the league in interceptions. 2nd in the league in tackles. Might be in the lead after today, but wow, what a hit he puts on. And of course, plays hurt all the time. I mean, he's been dinged up today, but you wouldn't know it by his effort on that play.
And he's playing on a wounded knee out there. Allen sprints to his right, then fires for Wilcox. Now, where do they spot the ball? Wilcox up near first down territory.
Nice job by the rookie slot back. Great size. You know, he's a good target downfield at 6'2", 231, and the perfect style of offense for Damon Allen. Get him out of the pocket where he can have a good look downfield at the receivers. You cut the field in half. You don't have to worry about trying to read all the right coverages, and he just finds the open guy, and that's a nice job to get them out of trouble.
Big first down for Ottawa. Out of the 20. Allen swinging it out for Stafford. And Stafford out across the 30 to the 33. Number 97 for Stafford that time. Nice play.
That was a nice move and a good play by Damon Allen. You know, the Calgary linebackers are so active in their pass coverage. I mean, they get back when they play zone. They get back there in a hurry, and boy, that allows you time to throw to your running back and let him run with the football, which Anthony Stafford did a nice job of.
Allen for Stafford once more, and he stopped at the 35. Ken Ford on Stafford once more.
Well, the Calgary defense at this stage is really sitting back and saying, look, we're going to let you throw all these passes underneath, and you may get a nice high completion percentage, but boy, oh boy, we're going to make you put about 10, 12 to 15 plays together to score against us.
Mitchell Price shaken up. Former great of the Hamilton Tiger Cats has done a pretty good job for Calgary this season.
And he played out his option, went down to Philadelphia in the NFL, could not make it, came back, and has been able to fit in nicely with Calgary Stampeders. That's an interesting philosophy on defense, though, John, is to just say to yourself, of course, you have a lead. Now just keep everything in front of you and make a team put 10, 12 plays together. I mean, that's tough to do. I mean, you can't do that every drive, and I think it's great philosophy at this stage, and it looks as though that's what Calgary's employing.
Wear down a little time on the old clock.
Oh, yeah.
Stampeders have a 20-point lead at 27-7.
The guy that's going to normally trap, we go to the next step. Okay. We're switching responsibilities. You're coming here, we're going there. You got to get out early, too. Yeah. Cheat it up. Yeah.
2nd and 6. Allen throws, tipped away. And Fields might have had a shot at the interception had Landry not tipped it.
Boy, here's something else in the middle, though. Originally came into the league with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. At that time, Ben Zambiazzi was a fixture at middle linebacker. He could not unseat him, went over to the Toronto Argonauts, where they traded him to Calgary last September for Harold Hallman.
Shimmer with a breeze. And this is Fields on the return for a couple of yards. Good coverage upfield by the Ottawa special teams. Calgary ends up with decent field position. First down, Stampeders. When we return, Calgary starts at the 37. Back live at Lansdowne. Who's getting a manicure on the sidelines there? Somebody's got to hang down.
I don't know who that is.
Hard to pick out a number here. But Pee Wee is over to say it looks pretty good.
I believe it's the newcomer, Anthony Stafford. Clip.
That clipping is legal.
All right.
All right, how about a little cruise down the Rideau this afternoon?
Yeah, what a nice day for it. Beautiful afternoon in Ottawa. You said you wanted to go on that boat.
I wanted to come from the Weston down. Maybe we'll try that one time next year. We can get off right behind.
Have a nice time.
Down.
Well, I've done it before.
You're afraid of water. Head tonight, CSL championship match. Hamilton versus Vancouver. Vic Ryder and Graham Leggett, 7:30 Eastern. Live from Vancouver tonight. Pretty good shot that the 86ers will win this one this evening. At least they're the favorites. Calgary first down at the 37. This is Lorenzo Graham, and Graham is out across the 45. Patrick Wayne from behind dragging Graham down.
Nice trap block by the right guard, number 61, Tom Spallettini. Kicks out Alex Carter. Makes it look pretty easy. Calgary's good rushing club.
Second down, I should say, 2nd and 2, and Petros has the first down for Calgary out near the 50.
Don't see that quick hitter too often anymore, do you? You know, and it's a great running play for the offensive lineman. All they have to do is just get a little block. That time Lloyd Lewis went to the outside, really didn't even have to block him. Huge hole for Tim Petros, but boy, I remember that quick hitter with George Reed, and if he just had a little bit of daylight, you know, he turns that into 8-10 yard gain every time. We talked about that before. He still holds the record. What a game that was. I had the pleasure of doing it. Young fellow with the Edmonton Eskimos, Michael Souls, had a good Vanier Cup a couple of years ago. I think he came pretty close to that record.
Danny Barrett sliding safely for a first down inside the 40 near the 35. Barrett just let the flow go out in front of him and sort of followed it up.
Do you think he was happy Toronto sent him out west?
I think Lorenzo is pretty happy Toronto sent him out west as well. Lorenzo Graham, Danny Barrett, both former Argos having success in the West. Too far that time. Larry Willis still hasn't caught a pass as Barrett went long for Willis that time. He was off target. Coverage by Darrell Hopper.
I think the Calgary, or the Ottawa front four rather, is getting a little tired here in the third quarter. They are not putting any pressure on the quarterback. Danny Barrett had all kinds of time to throw that pass. Larry Willis, another good year. He's at 825 yards coming into this game. Should be no problem for a 1,000-yard season for him if he stays healthy.
On the reverse to Graham, and Graham has running room to the far side. Flag down as Graham hits toward the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. I think we might have a holding call bringing it all back. Did Dan Ferrone get caught out there late?
I picked him out downfield. He was doing a nice job blocking downfield, but he will get called for the holding. It will all come back. Boy, a couple of nice running plays today called back.
Calgary number 66 was holding on the play. 4 yards are gained. Applied from the point of last scrimmage. Second down repeated.
Way to go, Hawkeye.
It was pretty easy to see that one. You know, you can get away with it in the trenches, but when you're out in the open field, pretty easy to see. And a nice running play by Lorenzo Graham. Nice, the old Statue of Liberty. You'll see to the right of your screen, he's got Dan Ferrone's got the hook on Paul McGowan, the middle linebacker. It all comes back.
It'll be 2nd and 20. Stampeders at the Ottawa 46. Barrett in trouble, gets away, and he's caught from behind. Carter, the masked marauder.
Well, that's a scary look with that new face mask, the shield, isn't it?
Shades, huh?
Can't see who's in there anymore. Well, just when I said it looked like the Ottawa front four was tiring, they come up with a pretty good effort. Lloyd Lewis with the initial pressure up the middle, and then Alex Carter with, I believe, his second sack of the afternoon, third sack of the afternoon.
3 now, Lee.
Can't fool Bobby Layton.
Can't fool Bobby.
Statistician had it. 3 sacks for Alex Carter.
Kicker goes down, but there is no flag. Now we pick it up on Pee Wee, and he has no play down near the 21. As Pee Wee Thurman didn't get a shot, had a kick return that time.
30-yard punt.
Calgary Stampeders leading the Ottawa Rough Riders by 20. It is 27-7. Time for Ottawa to get moving. Live from Lansdowne, our TSN Game of the Week. Later today, the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you by Remington.
The Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system. With high-speed motor and vibrating twin blades, glides so easily for incredibly close, smooth, comfortable shaves. Or your money back. Remington Electroblade.
First down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Ottawa starting out from the 21, trailing by 20 to the Calgary Stampeders. Allen got it away. Barely. Stafford couldn't hang on. Number 33. It's Anthony Stafford. It's about a 1-yard pass, wasn't it?
It was. It was almost. It looked like they were trying to set up a screen, but boy, oh boy, they have just been out of sync this afternoon. I'm really surprised. I thought they would really carry over from that big win last week and come out just flying, but they just don't seem to have the zip that they had last week against Saskatchewan.
Off target. Allen once more. Gerald Wilcox. Laughlin has not been a big factor for Ottawa this afternoon, and usually the Rough Riders have some success. He has a pretty good day.
Well, you know, he caught a pass on the opening series of the game, and I don't believe he's caught one since. In fact, he hasn't caught one since.
Tom Schimmer, decent snap this time. He had some problems in the first half. Darcy Kopp on the return at the 45. Good coverage by the Rough Riders, and Kopp gets no return on the play. Ilyarenko, Kerry Ilyarenko, number 69.
He also made the snap. They replaced Scott Flagel now.
Ilyarenko, a former member of the Stampeders. 4:58 remaining, third quarter. Calgary with a first down. 45. Barrett at quarterback. Nice toss for Willis. There's the streak intact. 50 games. With at least one catch for Larry Willis.
Andy Barrett's done a great job this year. You know, that's a beautiful touch pass. He's got the bump and run with Larry Willis. That's a good matchup. And look at the airtime he puts on this ball. And that allows Larry Willis to either speed up, slow down, or adjust to it. Nice catch. And boy, he tried to make that good move to get back inside Hunter. So that's 50 games in a row now for Larry Willis. He's got a pass.
Gain of 27 for the Stampeders. 1st and 10 now. At the 36, and this is Petros on the drop inside the 30.
Well, I tell you, Mike Palumbo, the center, is having a nice day blocking on the draw plays. That time he just turns his man to the outside, and that allows Tim Petros lots of running room up the middle. Of course, Mike Palumbo from Washington State blocked for a pretty good Canadian running back down there, Ruben Mays.
Second and 1. Give it to Petros, and he stopped rather quickly by Samalo. Does he have the first down? Likely. Only needed 1 yard.
I think Larry Kuharich would be pleased as he discusses strategy with Tom Porras. His club has played error-free football this afternoon. You know, they're a -6 in that takeaway giveaway category, but this afternoon, you know, the key thing is not to beat yourself, and they haven't done any of that.
Mark Zeno has his first catch of the afternoon, and he's inside the 10-yard line. Perfect strike from Dan Barrett. Another Calgary first down. So Barrett has been picking apart that Ottawa Rough Rider defense.
You talk about a good target. 6'3", 205. Mark Zeno in his 4th game now, a little more comfortable with the offense. The post pattern on Daniel Hunter. He was originally a 7th-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1988. Could not make their club. Found a home now in Calgary, teaming with his former college quarterback.
First and goal to go. Larry Willis couldn't bring in a touchdown toss from Barrett.
That's a good matchup. The alley-oop pass to Larry Willis. It's a good leaper. Just couldn't come back underneath Dan Hunter. That's good coverage.
Second and goal to go. Calgary. At the Ottawa 8. Barrett. Similar play. And no one was there that time. So the Stampeders will settle for a field goal after a very impressive march by Dan Barrett.
That's a good job, aggressive job by the secondary. Tyrone Pump up in the bump and run on Marshall Toner. He just would not allow him to go downfield. Danny Barrett just threw it away.
Tough start for Larry Kuharich in 1989. The Stampeders dropped their first 2 games. It was on a heartbreaker to Saskatchewan. The week after that, they were bombed by the Eskimos. Since then, he's put together a pretty good football team. Mark McLaughlin adding to the Calgary total with 3 more. It is now 30-7. The Stampeders leading the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Rough Rider home game tickets are available through the Rough Riders.
On way back for Ottawa.
Ticketmaster.
Lansdowne this afternoon.
Tickets are on sale now for both remaining. Lewis is a referred genealogist with the National Archives of Canada.
Now, you would look pretty good at the flybridge of that thing, would you not?
Wouldn't I look good as the skipper of that?
Yeah.
Cruising down the Rideau on a Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, I could see you doing that.
And another rider fan, Ken Dale, offers this.
It's a perfect afternoon for sailing. It's a great afternoon for football, but the Ottawa Rough Riders have not turned in a terrific display at home before a rather enthusiastic crowd here at Lansdowne.
Row 30, seat 41. To claim prizes, present your winning ticket stub at the rider office anytime after 9 tomorrow.
I think Larry's mellowed out a little bit this year, you know. Of course, that helps when you've got a team that's winning the way they have been winning. First 7-5 now. After today, we'll probably move to 8-5. A solid second-place club would help the personality a touch.
I think so. The problem is beating the Edmonton Eskimos in the Western Division, and that's something Calgary has had difficulty with, not only in '89, but over the past few years. On the return for Ottawa, here's Pee-wee. Nice dance step, Pee-wee, but he went nowhere. Had a little dipsy-doodle,
yep,
but nowhere to go. Just about dug himself a hole in the turf. Drilled himself right in.
He did.
Orville Lee, number 22, Rookie of the Year in the CFL last year. Did not start this afternoon, but he comes into the game at running back at this stage of things. Stamps lead it by 23. This is first down Ottawa. Allen looks long, and it's almost picked off by Junior Thurman. Allen was decked after throwing the pass.
I think that was really a throw out of frustration more than anything else. Damon Allen, I'm sure, saw that that was the deep zone coverage, and next to impossible to get that ball in there. Junior Thurman just back in his area. Lots of time to react to that throw and break it up. I know Larry Kaharick has been pleased with him. You know, initially he was pretty tentative out there in his first few games, but now much more comfortable, taking some chances, and boy, they're very happy with him.
Second and 10 Rough Riders back at the 29. Allen sprinting right, and he'll take off this time. Almost tripped up. Now he slides short and lost the football. He recovered. I believe the Ottawa Rough Riders have retained the football. Now did the whistle go before it came loose? Because if it didn't, maybe Ottawa has a chance at a first down here, the way the ball bounced forward.
Football, but this is the tough thing about the Calgary defense. When you run against it, the linebackers react so quickly. You see Kenny Ford up to make the initial hit. You know, just when it appears that Damon Allen has been able to break through the first wave, he's got some running room. Those linebackers, they just are on you so fast.
Ken Ford shaken up, but he'll be back.
I know they're playing your favorite song in the background here. I see the foot even tapping a little bit at the floor. Not bad.
Shimmer with the breeze at his back. Fields at the 25 for Calgary on the return. It's about 4 yards on the kick return that time. 55 seconds to play in the third quarter. Ford being attended to by the Stampeder medical staff. Pretty good linebacker. There's another Calgary problem. Spallettini.
Calgary, of course, one of the more physical teams in the Canadian Football League. You know, as we travel around doing different games each week, we ask the coaches, which teams are the most physical teams in the league, and everybody always mentions Calgary because of that defense.
Well, it's pretty well the key to winning football, and I think while the Stampeders struggled a little bit to get their offense intact, they were able to win a couple of games with defense. We talked about Fairbanks rejoining the Calgary Stampeders coming out of retirement. I think Lorenzo Graham, when he joined the team, became a pretty good acquisition for Larry Kuhart.
I think Howard Fields was a big acquisition too. He's really helped that secondary, settled them down. All Canadian last year. They've got a nice plan, but you know that good defense can carry you a long way, can't it?
Certainly can. And that's something that has been a problem for Ottawa. They were very excited about the play of the defense last week against Saskatchewan, but I don't think Steve Goldman will be pleased with the play of the defense today. Out to the 42, Marshall Toner made the catch. Patrick Wayne making the stop. Toner did not like the way he was tackled, or at least that would seem to be what was happening down there.
You know, we talk about the Ottawa defense, and I mean, quite frankly, they have been on the field a lot in the second and third quarters.
Barrett for Tim Petros, and Petros has the first down on 2nd and 2. Joe Sumalo made the stop.
You know, we look at the numbers, and second quarter for Ottawa, 30 yards of offense. The third quarter, so far, 30 yards of offense. I mean, that will tire your defense out in a hurry.
This will be the last play of the third quarter. Barrett, good fake and a pitch out to Lorenzo Graham. Graham across the 55 and into Ottawa territory. Stopped by Alex Carter. Close to a first down. It'll be 2nd and a couple for the Stampeders when we return for the fourth quarter at Lansdowne Park. Calgary having an easy time with Ottawa here today.
By Miller Lite, everything you always wanted in a beer.
Ready to begin the fourth quarter at Lansdowne in Ottawa. The second quarter is the one that the Rough Riders would like to have back. They allowed Calgary to score 20 points. It is now 30-7. Stampeders leading Ottawa with a first down. Calgary. Lorenzo Graham into Ottawa territory. Down to the 52. Stopped by Gary Columbus.
It wouldn't be hard if you turned the TV on just now and watched this game, to figure out which team was in the lead. I mean, Calgary was bouncing around, Ottawa just walking around. Heads down, the enthusiasm is gone.
Another puzzle for Steve Goldman to ponder over the next 7 days. What happened this time? Barrett, perfect pass. Toner was the intended receiver. It was a lovely pass, and Tyrone Pope got a hand on it.
Boy, if he doesn't knock it down, Daniel Hunter was breaking on the football perfectly, and I'm sure he would have made the interception. Looked good initially, but boy, did they close off that lane in a hurry. Nice job by Tyrone Pope. Good hit by Lloyd Lewis. Danny Barrett has taken a lot of hits this year. Boy, it seems like every game we do, Danny Barrett is playing quarterback. He is time and time again picking himself up off the ground.
And he's been injured a time or two and missed a couple of starts because of injury.
Hurt the knee a little bit this year.
2nd and 10, Barrett. Intended that for Brock Smith.
No, he didn't make that catch, but he made a beauty in the second quarter on the same play over the middle, and he has got some courage. You know, he's only a little fellow, 5'8", about 160 pounds. Get a good look here, and he knows where he's going. He knows Flagle's around that area, but he goes up.
Almost.
Pretty good effort.
Matic for Calgary will step across his 50 to get this punt away. Contact, but no flag. Aguirre on the return out to the 45. Hopper kind of glancing off Matic.
I think he got a piece of the football. There's the big smile from Daryl Hopper. And you'll get a good look at it right here. He got the left hand on it with the block. Well, they could have used that in the second quarter.
Cabrera was a pretty good punt returner in college. He was also a punter at Laurier. Other Stampeders shaken up. Ken Ford, second time he's been hurt this afternoon. Pretty good bet he'll be back. 383 yards total offense for Calgary compared to 174 for Ottawa. No wonder the score reads the way it does right now. Slightly strange there with the zeros beside the turnover category. First down for Ottawa as Allen drops back, swings it out for Orville Lee, and Lee out to the 55. As a first down. Big play for Ottawa.
It's a big opportunity for Orville Lee. You know, he didn't start today, and I'm sure his pride has been wounded a little bit, and it's a great chance for him to get in and get some playing time and really try and do the best that he can. And he runs hard here. He knocks over the Tank Landry. You don't see that happen too often. But his second effort, nice first down run for Orville Lee.
From the 54, Allen looks long. On the money for Ken Abreu. They drew some coverage out there from Hopkins and McCrary. 43 yards. Nice play.
You know what? He's a great athlete, Kenny Abreu. And he's had a pretty good season so far this year. 4 touchdown passes. And watch how he just stretches and lays out. Makes a nice catch. He was All-Canadian for a couple of seasons, 86 and 87 at Wilfrid Laurier. A great high school in Toronto, Northern Secondary.
Some great grads out of Northern. Neil Lumsden went there.
Yeah.
And so did Lee Penn.
Yeah, we all went there.
First down, Ottawa. Allen has to scramble out of there. Good move by Allen as he gets down near the 5.
Well, that was a great run by Damon Allen. Looked like Mitchell Price had him dead to right, but Damon Allen with that quickness, and he's got quick feet. You know, that's the secret for him. Straightaway runner. I mean, he's not the fastest guy around. He's quick. It's those quick feet to get himself out of trouble.
It'll be second and goal to go for the Rough Riders at the 7. Can Ottawa get to the end zone for the first time this afternoon in this sequence? Allen time to throw. Just over the outstretched hands of Ken Abreu, who was looking for a call on David McCrary. No flags at all. What do you do? Go for the touchdown here on 3rd and 7? Shot at 6.
Yeah. You have no choice here. You have to gamble on 3rd down and try and get yourself back into this football game.
Third and goal. Here comes the charge on Allen. Can he do it himself? No, he's tripped up from behind. Is he trying to do too much himself, Lee?
Well, he was in a tough situation there. The blitz coming from the outside. I think it was 37 Matt Finley. And, I mean, there was just absolutely no way Damon Allen was either going to get the pass off or be able to run with it. Tough day for Damon Allen. Sorry, John.
First turnover of the game. 11:06 in the 4th quarter. Steve Goldman and the Rough Riders in trouble deep here at home. A pretty good time with football in Ottawa. The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B. Now, Bobby Layden remembers that from the first time around.
Oh, absolutely. So does our spotter, Alex Cotton.
Well, Alex remembers a lot even before that song was out. I just just remember my mom and dad telling me about that song.
Well, I know Alex knows all the words to that one.
Stampeders are pinned deep in their own zone with a first down after Ottawa failed to come up with a touchdown on first and goal to go from the 7. 10:58 to go in the fourth quarter. Calgary leading 30-7. This is Lorenzo Graham trying for room outside, and Alex Carter, number 96, got a piece of him. Ottawa can hold here. There's a chance for another crack at the end zone, but Calgary does have the wind favoring here in the fourth quarter. Barrett rolling out, will carry himself, comes up well short of the first down inside the 10.
Oh, Alex Carter's had himself a pretty good game in a tough afternoon. Made the tackle there on Danny Barrett.
Carter missed last week's game.
Yeah. So he's rested. He had 3 sacks this afternoon so far and makes the tackle here. That's a good play by Danny Barrett. You know, don't want to take any chances here. You get a nice 30-7 lead. Deep in your own territory. Wind at your back. Say, look, if I can't run and pick it up, let Brent Matic come in and kick us out of trouble.
Matic about 10 yards deep in his end zone. Prevailing wind, not a great kick with the wind. Bouncing near the 40. One hop to Pee Wee Thurman. And Toner has him dead to rights at the 55. Boots with a bit of a bounce.
So Pee Wee's going to play a little offense now too. He stays in at the wide receiver spot.
Running out on the Ottawa Rough Riders. Thurman to the near side as a wide receiver. Number 85, Allen. Back for Orville Lee. And Lee gets down to the 35. He's turned a couple of good first downs for Ottawa. Stopped by Matt Finley. Orville Lee.
Well, he has some motivation in there. He wants to prove to the head coach that he is an excellent running back, that we all know that. I mean, obviously. First pick in the draft a year ago, 1988. Shenley Canadian last year. Shenley rookie, rather. Still looking for his first touchdown, though, in 1989. Kind of surprising.
Allen looks for Thurman. Pee Wee's got it. Touchdown. Pee Wee Thurman on Junior Thurman, and Pee Wee wins the day. Touchdown in the afternoon for Ottawa.
That's a nice throw by Damon Allen into the wind. Pee Wee Thurman, who has some tremendous speed, runs a nice fly pattern in behind Junior Thurman. Ottawa's first touchdown of the afternoon.
Ottawa 2-point conversion try. Allen in trouble and down by Matt Finley.
Boy, same blitz they used on the third down gamble. Finley just comes in from the outside. Nobody picks him up, and Damon Allen has no chance.
Allen actually stumbling as Finley just had to come over and pin him. There was no conversion on the play. Calgary Stampeders still with a comfortable majority on the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is 30-13 in the fourth. Tyrone Pee Wee Thurman, first touchdown reception in the CFL. Had a punt return touchdown earlier, but this is the first catch.
Well, good protection for Damon Allen, too. That's usually the key with the Ottawa offensive line. If they can give Damon time to throw, he's a good quarterback, and he finds Pee Wee Thurman.
Back to the live action. Dean Dorsey kicks it deep. And this is Hopkins on the return for Calgary. Across the 35 to the 38 for Hopkins. Troy Wilson made the stop. Into the final 9 minutes at Lansdowne this afternoon. Ottawa's first touchdown. And the drive looked like this: 48 yards in 2 plays, less than a minute. Lorenzo Graham on 1st and 10 from the 38. Alex Carter there for the stop. He has been busy. Alex Carter, that is. Graham, for that matter, too.
You know, John, I really like the way Larry Kuharich has handled his quarterback situation this year. You know, Terrence Jones was having a good first half, error-free. But, you know, he likes to give Danny Barrett a little work, too, and Terrence Jones did his job, but now Danny Barrett gets a chance to play here in the second half, and, boy, you really keep everybody happy that way.
2nd and 4, the pitch to Graham. He has the first down, and lots to spare it on the far side. Finally wrestled out by Scott Flagel and Patrick Wayne.
Well, they've had some great success with that play this season. I know Andy McVeigh scored on a touchdown against the Argonauts on it last week, and now Lorenzo Graham to the outside, 34-yard gain on this play. Look, simple. Danny Barrett fakes. Now, if the defensive end takes him like Alex Carter did, you pitch to the running back. If Alex Carter takes a running back, Danny Barrett runs with the football. Simple offense, good execution.
Stampeders with a first down at the Ottawa 33. Pitch to Martin that time. He was the designated import.
Yeah, Daniel Hunter. Long afternoon. Henderson State product. Remember, Tony Johns went to Henderson State.
You're right. And Petros across the 30, stopped by Columbus. Spotted at the 29-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and bring on the kicker time. 7:10 to play. Another one of those long afternoons at Lansdowne for Steve Goldman. There's Stampeders shaken up. I can't quite get the number, Leaf.
I think it's Matic.
Matic, the kicker.
How in the world did he get hurt?
Appears to be all right now. It is McLaughlin in for Calgary.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is a contact lens is maybe a problem.
From the 37, another field goal try that is going nowhere. Squibbed right into the backside of the Stampeder offensive line.
Well, you have a whole lot of problems there because Matic is the normal holder. That means Danny Barrett's in the game. It was not a good snap. Danny Barrett has not been holding lately, and he just could not get the ball up quickly enough on the tee.
Yeah. Bouncy bally there.
Yeah.
first down for Ottawa. Rough Riders at the 27. Damon Allen over the middle. And Alford has his first catch in some time, but a flag is down. Second catch for Alford. This went out near the 45, but might it be coming back?
Maybe not. The Rough Rider Rooters going over there to try to hide the flag.
Oh, this could be cute. Oh, hang on.
Calgary 93 lined up offside. The penalty is declined. First down.
First down stands Kent Warnock. Offside that time. 6:26 to play. Fourth quarter. Ottawa. First down. 47. Here's Allen swinging it out for Orville Lee. And Lee breaks the tackle and just about broke another one. Gain is restricted by Hopkins to a couple.
Well, he did that entirely on his own. Rocco Romano, number 58, the left guard. He has to get the first block. Now, he misses Matt Finley. He doesn't get out there quickly enough. But Orville Lee does a nice job to get away from him. And he is playing with some enthusiasm here in the second half because he's trying to get his starting job back.
Gain of 2. This is 2nd and 8 Ottawa. Allen in trouble once more. Lost the ball, but he was down at about the 52. Third and 5.
We have a
tough ball game.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Stampeders injured this afternoon. I cannot tell who that is. I think it might. Nope, not even going to guess. Will Johnson, I'm told. Is he not the lineman of the week last week?
Lineman of the week for week 12. Talked to him before the ball game. Had 3 sacks last week. Said he was going to get 5 today. I think he's got to hurry up.
How many is he away from 5?
He's 5? 5. Oh, here's the big Toronto rivalry. York stand a chance?
I don't know. I know our producer, Gord Cutler, who is a York University alumni, will be cheering them on. The Yeoman.
Allen, time to throw. Looks for Thurman to the near side on 3rd and 5. And that play did not work well at all for Ottawa. Second turnover.
Well, you know, they still are a young team when it really comes down to it, and the frustrations will still be there for another week.
Calgary out in front of Ottawa, 30-13. Time is running out on the Rough Riders once more at Lansdowne this afternoon. Well, 5 minutes and 20 seconds remain in a long afternoon for the Ottawa Rough Riders once more. Calgary out in front, 30-13. Big second quarter, and that's all that Calgary has really needed to overpower Ottawa here today.
Well, and the fact that they haven't done anything to hurt themselves either. You know, no turnovers. They had a lead. They've been able to keep it comfortably, and Steve will have to go back to the drawing board and try and get his club ready for next week.
Section double B, trying to get that wave started. Try it again.
Patience is a virtue that Steve Goldman is learning about, and Larry Kuharek already knows about. He had some tough times when he first took over in Calgary. Actually, the Stampeders rolling a little bit and then struggled after that, but he's put together a pretty good football team.
See Tom Porras standing behind head coach Larry Kuharek. He was telling me today that he will be doing his Elvis routine at the annual Stampeder dinner, which I believe is tomorrow night. And if you've never heard him sing, do the Elvis thing, he is really good.
I don't think there's any question about it. He is the greatest guitar-playing quarterback in Canadian football today.
Safe to say that. Oh, he is talented.
He has also contributed on the field because he has a victory under his belt this year, and it's pretty interesting when you can have 3 quarterbacks, Barrett, Jones and Porras, and they've all contributed in one football game this year for Calgary.
Well, the nice thing for Tom Porras, of course, is that the Hamilton Tiger Cats released him this year, and he went to Calgary, but he came back, and the one win that he engineered was in Hamilton against his old teammates, so I'm sure he felt pretty good about that.
Leonard Martin into the ball game for Calgary. Number 28, he has carried in the last 2 plays. 4:21 to go. Ottawa Rough Riders must be doing something this afternoon, Leif. There's been an awful lot of injured Stampeders out there.
Yeah, it sure has.
Another player down. That's Mark Palumbo, I believe, number 65.
Pat Clayton, the head trainer, is getting a workout.
They're still smiling on the offensive line for the Ottawa Rough Riders. That's a good sign. Game for the Calgary Stampeders coming up at home next Sunday with the Saskatchewan Roughriders at McMahon Stadium. Saskatchewan with 2 losses in a row, so the Stampeders with a win today have a little bit of breathing space between themselves and the Roughriders in the race for second. Peter?
The Stampeders are really in charge of their own destiny in the month of October because they play BC twice and Saskatchewan 3 times, so they can salt away second place if they can continue to play as well as they have here today against the Ottawa Rough Riders. Rough Riders, by the way, will play the Argonauts in Toronto on Thanksgiving Day Monday. We will have that game for you live at 2:30 Eastern Time from the Skydome in Toronto. So that's Thanksgiving Monday. And, of course, our next game will be Hamilton at BC next Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time for the CFL Report, 10:30 for the game itself.
Kennard Martin, the ball carrier, number 28. He was listed as the designated import this afternoon for Calgary, getting a chance here in the latter stages of this football afternoon to get into the game. Stampeders lead it 30-13. This is Tim Petros. Flagel is in there along with Patrick Wayne and Pat Miller on the tackle. Another Calgary first down, this time at the 25.
Not a happy group of campers there.
McVeigh. Giving everybody a shot at carrying the ball in that Calgary offensive backfield. Less than 3 minutes to go. And a long way back for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It looks darn near impossible right now. Die-hard Rider-rooters holding the fort here at Lansdowne. 21,643 on hand here today. That's a pretty good crowd considering the kind of year it's been for Ottawa. The kind of support the Rough Riders have been getting has certainly been encouraging.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next Rider home game is...
Well, the Calgary Stampeders have had a nice day offensively this afternoon. 464 total yards. I think they will all be happy with that. 273 on the ground, 191 through the air. Pretty much what they like to do. They like to establish the run. They have the good offensive line that can do it.
With all fees reduced in price to $50 for children 12 under. Call 563-1212.
Number 11, Derek Zeno, teammate of Terrence Jones at Tulane. They put up some pretty big numbers in college together. Right now it's Danny Barrett at the controls. 2nd down and 7 to go for the Stampeders. Barrett to the end zone for McVeigh. He was off target there, so it'll be 3rd and 7 from the 22.
Now, Patrick Wayne had a pretty good hook on Andy McVeigh as he broke to the corner. Danny Barrett even laughing about it. But Lucas Terrence Jones, he had a nice afternoon. Good half of football, a couple touchdown runs for him. A 1-yarder and a 40-yarder.
Gave Calgary the lead. And it's been up to Barrett to protect it for the most part. He's added a few more points. Mark McLaughlin has been steady. No problem that time with his regular holder back, Matic. Miracle on Bank Street. Well, not today. And there's the guy in charge of miracles in Ottawa. He knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Well, I feel sorry for Steve. It's hard to understand why his team came up a little bit flat this afternoon. So much riding on this game. Of course, that's a big game next week when they go into Toronto and take on the Argonauts.
Orville lead, drop play. Close to 5. 2:22 to play. $20 points separating Calgary and Ottawa this afternoon. Damon Allen has got most of the way at quarterback. Tony Kimbrough came in and then was injured, so Allen had to be brought back.
Pick him up. Well, the Tank did a nice thing there. You know, he just made sure that Damon Allen didn't get hurt on the sidelines, forced him out of bounds, and pretty classy move by Tank Landry there.
Allen has enough for another Ottawa first down. 1:59 to play.
Now there you see at the sidelines. Could have maybe given him a hit there, but now he just tries to make sure that Damon doesn't hit the wall. I like that.
1st and 10 Ottawa at the 45. Allen for Orville Lee, and Lee has a first down. I guess the Calgary defense has backed off just a little bit, but Orville Lee has contributed some substantial yardage since coming in.
Well, there's incentive for him. It's something to prove to the players, the coaches, that he still has all the talents that we know he has.
First down. Ottawa at the 52, and no one is down around the 35. Ray McDonald, the wide receiver on that side of the field. He was down near the 10-yard line.
Damon Allen thought Kenny Abrera was going to break to the outside. He just hooked up. No chance for a completion.
A minute and a half to go for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Allen takes off himself. Good burst of speed as he comes up with a first down near the 35 and stopped there by David McCrary. All academic now. 1:23 to play. Ottawa 20 points behind the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, the thing you'd like to try and do, even though you're going to lose the game, no question about that, is maybe finish off on a positive note. They had the one touchdown pass to Pee Wee Thurman, and I'm sure Damon Allen would like to at least finish off the day with a pretty good drive here.
Reverse to Alphen. Alphen trying to get around the corner on the far side, and he's forced out. play did not work terribly well either.
He got a pretty good block from Gerald Roper, number 65, as Alfin came around the corner. Kind of tough when you're down by, 20 points to run the reverse. I don't think it has the impact that it might have in the first quarter.
Someone with a bolt loose.
Cape Crusader.
Less than a minute to go, 58 seconds between now and a Calgary Stampeder victory. Thurman out to the near side as the flanker right. Second and 5. Allen looks to the end zone for a Brer. Can't quite bring it in. Now is that a flag down? It is. Dropped by accident. I guess it was. Junior Thurman was quick to pick it up and offer it back to the official down there.
Taking it on that play.
Junior's done a good job this year. He had some pretty big shoes to fill with the injury to Chris Major. Now, I understand Chris Major is about a week away from coming back, so we'll have to
interesting decision there.
Yep.
In Calgary. 52 seconds to go. This is 3rd and 5. Ottawa at the 32. One last chance for the Rough Riders to get to the end zone. And who was the intended receiver? It has not been a good afternoon for Damon Allen. 46 seconds to go as the Rough Riders turn it over on downs once more.
Is a flooding to the exits here.
Looking ahead to week 14, Saskatchewan at Calgary on Sunday, Ottawa at Toronto on the Thanksgiving Monday, Winnipeg at Edmonton Friday, and Hamilton at BC also on Friday night. Toner makes the catch. He was decked by Hopper. Another injured Stampeder. Now Toner is up. Down to the final 38 seconds.
Hard to believe Marshall Toner was never drafted by any of the CFL clubs. Been a starter now for Calgary for a few seasons.
Toner's having a decent year. 24 catches, almost 500 yards coming into this game. And 3 for 81 today. Here's Andy McVeigh. Nice to have a backup running back like that. Loose ball. But the whistle had gone.
I like the way Andy McVeigh runs. I saw that touchdown run he had against the Argonauts last week, and I mean, he really turns it upfield nicely. Gets those legs really churning. University of Toronto.
Andy Barrett surrenders. The Calgary Stampeders have another victory.